just because you have a bid proposal that has everything qualified, doesn't mean they're going to include in their contract. So it's very important to read that contract to make sure. Then if not, a lot of times I'll ask some contractors, you know, like, hey,
welcome to the Profit Dig Construction Show. We're here talking about construction. We're here to make all your dreams come true. As long as your dream is to be successful in the construction industry.
yes, sir.
If that's not your dream, then you might go somewhere.
I know. I had a customer the other day that said, man, I don't know how to put this, but Profit Dig has made my bank account fatter, my wife better looking, my TV reception is better.
We'll get,
Is that right?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Yeah.
all right, I'm just gonna sit here and
Not about the bank account.
I'm gonna sit here and watch the media and let y'all take over.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, great discussion here, guys. We were talking about qualifying your bid.
Yeah.
Jeff Spencer, Jeff Gibbons. Great
Chris?
to see you, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Chris White.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you guys take the table here since you're already knee deep in the discussion.
Well, we were talking just a minute or two ago before we started recording, but Jeff had asked me some questions. So, Jeff, you want to kind of go back over it again and we'll kind of start fresh.
Yeah. So I guess one of the things I was curious to know about is, you know, obviously we know it's important to qualify your bids,
Right.
make sure that you're excluding things so that you can protect yourself in the event that you do need to supply change order on a job.
Right.
And if you don't catch those things in the bid process or explicitly state them, you might receive.
You could be bound by a contractual agreement.
Yeah, they may say sorry.
Yeah.
Right? You agreed to do the
You
job.
agree to do it, and especially if you're a new contractor, I mean, and when you enter a contract with someone and you're bound by that contract, then when you receive that contract before you sign it, it is adamant that you read through it, especially when it comes to your scope of work, and make sure they've got everything qualified that pertains to your bid and how you put your bid proposal together. Just because you have a bid proposal that has everything qualified doesn't mean they're going to include in their contract. So it's very important to read that contract to make sure. Then if not, a lot of times I'll ask some contractors, you know, like, hey, I don't necessarily see everything that was in here in my bid proposal. If you don't mind, I would like to add my bid proposal as Exhibit A or Exhibit B, C. You know, they may have 3 or 4 exhibits, you know, to your contract already. So just include it as the last exhibit. It doesn't matter where it comes into play, just as long as it's included in your contract. But if they've got your scope of work listed verbatim as what you sent them, there's no need to have your proposal as an exhibit because they've got everything that you agreed to.
Yeah.
But like you and I was talking about earlier, you know, if you don't have a soils report, like if you're a grading contractor, you don't have a soils report, or they've either went out and done some test pits, or they have core drilled this site, or roadway, whatever it may be. It may be a combination of a site and roadway together, sanitary sewer, storm, whatever that may be. If you don't know the potentiality of having a rock clause, or maybe there's rock there and you're not for sure about it, you know, you need to have a rock clause in play to where you can protect yourself. Because, you know, if they don't disclose everything they know about the site, you know, say they do have a soils report, you know, they want an all-inclusive bid.
Now, if they want an all-inclusive bid, are they already providing the reports and samples and everything you need, or is that some of that up to you as the contractor?
Well, it's up to me as a contractor
1 second,
to
Jeff
figure out
Spencer.
where his fucking beat's coming from.
What is going on here?
Technical difference.
Red alert! The Russians are here.
A few minutes later.
Yes, we were talking to Jeff Spencer about like something like a rock clause, for example, in your bid, or you know, you mentioned the term all-inclusive bid.
Right.
And Chris was wondering, what is an all-inclusive bid?
Well, that means that, you have bid this project, whatever may come from when you start that project is on you. You've told the developer, or you've told the owner, or you've told the GC through your bid proposal and your qualifications, is like, I see the existing conditions, I see proposed conditions and what they're supposed to be, and I can get you from point A to point B for X amount of dollars. So if you hit rock and you did not qualify your job, that you don't have any rock excavation, then you've got to excavate that rock, whether it be blasting, hole ram, drum cutter, whatever it may be. You've got to take care of that rock at your own expense.
But if you're in that situation, you already have a pretty good idea of what type of rock or the quantity of rock you're going to be removing, or no?
Not necessarily. Not if you do not have a soils report.
Okay, well, right.
Right. If you have soils report, they're going to come out here on this site and they're going to do, strategic core drills or test pits. There may be 6, there may be 10, there may be 20, depending on the size of the site.
So it's physically drilling.
They drill,
it's
yeah.
Not sonar or something.
No, or they can actually take an excavator out there, mini X, backhoe, large excavator, and they can dig down and they can do a soils report. They'll classify the dirt as it goes down. Core drilling to me is the simplest way to do it. Mm-hmm. They'll tell you, if you got organics, how thick your topsoil is, what type of clay, is it lean, fat clay, whatever types of clay you have. Is it fill material? And fill material could be anything. Maybe this site right here 30, 40 years ago was a hole in the ground, and people have used it over time to dump material in as a dump site. It may be rock, it may be dirt, it may be a mixture, and right, exactly.
TVs,
right,
sofas,
and then a lot of times you'll get on your core drill on your soils report, they'll have auger refusal, which means that they have hit something they cannot drill through. Sometimes it'll say limestone at 12 feet or auger refusal at 12 feet. Auger refusal doesn't necessarily mean it's limestone. It just means it's something they cannot dig through.
Okay.
And then when you get to a point, they say limestone hit at such and such footage.
And so just to be clear, when you say it's something you can't dig through, does that imply that you're going to have to do some blasting?
There's a good chance. But, that kind of gives you an idea of what's there. They may have auger refusal here, and 40 feet over here, they may go 10 feet past what they did here. They may come over here. They had auger refusal right here at 6 feet. They may come 30 feet this way and have auger refusal at 3 feet.
So it's better than no data.
Right.
But you'd still guesswork. Right?
But me, if I start seeing stuff like that, and I'm having hit or miss, auger refusals here and there, that tells me that, there's pinnacle rock in here. There's rock that's protruding from beneath. You've got areas in between, and we've done that before. We've actually went in and on some sites that have pinnacle rock. We've dug out around it. It looks like towers. We just leave the towers standing up. Then we get down in there with the hole ram, we bust them up, get rid of them, whatever it may be, to get them out of the way. And it's cheaper to do that than it is to mass blast the whole site. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, but there again, every site's different. You've got to figure out your approach to that site, what you think the best way for you to attack it. And you've got 5, 6, 7 other people out there bidding against you that's putting their best strategy together. And that's where qualifying your bid comes into play.
I got you.
So to me, just because you have a bid proposal out there, if you need to attach 2 or 3 pages behind that bid proposal, giving qualifications of what got you to the point of giving this number to do this project. I have arrived at this on the sanitary sewer because of this, and this. I've arrived at this on the grade work, because of this, and this. Anything that may differ from what I have qualified in my bid will have to be done at an extra cost. Let them know that. This is the point I stop at. Mm-hmm. They've got to know where you stop at, and if they want more for less money, then you need to give me more information.
Absolutely.
So from a GC's perspective, is there any kind of stigma around being too verbose in your exclusions and qualifications, or
No, I mean, you don't want to write a down book, to where they can't, they're going to throw your bid out.
yeah,
But if you need to have a page or two and a larger job, it's not going to be unheard of to have a couple pages of qualifications attached with your itemized bid proposal. Just like Profit Dig, we give you the opportunity to add your exclusions and qualifications. That gives you a brief understanding of what you got. But, when it comes down to it, I would get on my word and I'd write a little letter. I'd grading, erosion control, grading, storm drainage, have that, header under here, my utilities, whatever else may go, have it kind of broken out to give them a description of, hey, this is how I got here.
you can actually save those in their own templates in Profit.
Right, exactly, yes. But, you can overqualify a project, but it's hard to overqualify a project. But just make sure that you're qualifying a project enough to protect yourself. It's a CYA factor.
Sure.
And if you're working like in a metropolitan area, like a downtown area, then I don't mind writing 3 or 4 pages to qualify, hey, this is where I'm at. This is why my price is where it is. And you may be the highest bidder out there, but the GC may read your scope and your qualifications. You're like, I trust this guy. He's looked
really
at these
looking at the
drawings.
detail.
He's looked at this
Yeah.
project.
Yeah.
He's looked at, the worst case scenario or possible scenarios, and this is how he's arrived at his number. I think he's going to be the most qualified.
Yeah, that
He
was
may
gonna
not be
be-
the cheapest.
So not adequately doing your qualifications can actually work against you then, because it makes you look less professional.
Less professional.
Right.
Yeah.
We probably need to wrap this one up, y'all.
Well, we'll wrap it
It's
up.
been a good
All right,
one.
guys.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, qualify your bid.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we've learned that.
Yeah,
And if you find this kind of
Yeah,
information
don't-
useful, please follow this channel, like us, subscribe, whatever, help us out. We'd appreciate it.
That's right.
Thank
See
you,
next
guys.
time.
See ya.
Property.com. Later.